How are you guys doing? It is Saturday, September 26, 2020, out here in this quarantine. I'm James Sims, and for this episode of The Elite, I'm going to take you through yesterday's elite performances as we cycle through the elite athletes, and of course, the elite performances by players that I don't have listed as my elite athletes. So, just to get started, yesterday was Friday, September 25th, and in yesterday, let's take it out to the NBA. In Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals last night, the third seed Boston Celtics were able to beat the fifth seed Miami Heat 121-108. And with this win, the Boston Celtics now have 2 wins in this series. The Heat still lead at 3-2. The Celtics are now 2 wins away from clinching a spot in the NBA Finals, while the Heat are still 1 win away. Looking at how both teams fared, for the Miami Heat off the bench, their shooting guard hero from the previous game, Tyler Hero, he would finish the game with playing 29 minutes, finishing with 14 points and 3 rebounds, shooting 6 for 12 from the field. Out of their starters, because all of their starters scored in double digits, their power forward, Bam Adebayo, would finish with 13 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists as he shot 5 for 11 from the field in 38 minutes. Their forward, Jay Crowder, would finish with 14 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists as he shot 5 for 12 from the field in 33 minutes. Their elite small forward, Jimmy Butler, who was named to the All-NBA third team, would finish with 17 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists as he shot 5 for 11 from the field. Duncan Robinson, their point guard, finished with 20 points as he shot 7 for 15 from the field, 3 for 11 from 3 last night. And Goran Dragic, their point guard, finished with 23 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists as he shot 8 for 17, 1 for 7 from 3 in 36 minutes. Looking out to the Boston Celtics fared, off their bench, their small forward, Gordon Hayward, would score 10 points in 30 minutes. And looking out of their starters, because all of their starters scored double digits too, their guard, Marcus Smart, would score 12 points, finish with 8 rebounds and 8 assists and 4 steals. He shot 3 for 9 in 40 minutes. Their elite point guard, Kemba Walker, would finish with 15 points and 7 assists as he shot 4 for 11 from the field, 3 for 6 from 3, and made all 4 of his free throws in 28 minutes for the Celtics. Their center, Daniel Tice, would finish with 15 points, 13 rebounds, and 3 blocks as he shot 6 for 10 from the field and 3 for 4 from the line. Their shooting guard, Jaylen Brown, would finish with 28 points, 8 rebounds, and a couple assists as he shot 12 for 23 from the field, 4 for 10 from the line, from 3, And looking at Jason Tatum, their elite forward, he would finish the game with 31 points, 10 rebounds, and 6 assists as he shot 8 for 22 from the field, 3 for 10 from 3, and he shot 12 for 14 from the free throw line, and yet another virtuoso performance from another young elite basketball player. With this win, like I said, the Boston Celtics are now 2 wins away from a spot in the finals, but too bad for them. The Miami Heat are 1 win away. Looking out to what to look forward to today on Saturday, it'll be Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals between the top seed Los Angeles Lakers and the third seed Denver Nuggets out west. And tonight, the Lakers will be the very first team to advance to the NBA Finals, as there are still 4 teams remaining in this season that are remaining in the bubble. The Lakers could be the team that makes it 3 tonight. And then really quickly, jumping out to show you what's going on in other bubbles. First, I'll take you out to the NHL to show you what's going on in the Stanley Cup. Last night, the Tampa Bay Lightning were able to beat the Dallas Stars 5-4 in overtime. Their center, Alex Killorn, would finish with a goal and an assist. He'd have big-time plays. Of course, their defensive end, Shattenkirk, would finish with a goal and assist as well. For the Dallas Stars, their center, Joe Pavelski, would have an amazing game as he finished with 2 goals. But at the end of the day, the Lightning proved too strong, and now they are 1 win away from securing the Stanley Cup for themselves. And that opportunity may come tonight as they face off at 8 p.m. Like I said, the Tampa Bay Lightning could very well end the series tonight, and they could end it all tonight. And at the same time, the Dallas Stars, down 3-1, have an opportunity to come back and actually still win the Stanley Cup. There's 2 teams remaining, and neither team is out of it as of right now. Really quickly, looking out to the WNBA just to show you what's going on out there. As we are in the semifinal stage. Looking forward to tomorrow because there were no games last night, but the last games were on Thursday, but on Sunday it'll be a matchup between the Las Vegas Aces and the Connecticut Sun at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on ESPN. And 2 hours later, it's the Seattle Storm versus the Washington the Minnesota Lynx. I'm sorry, but those series are still going incredibly strong. They're just not playing today, and because today is Saturday, I'm gonna take you quickly through the NCAA matchups today before I jump into baseball. So first to start off, like with the noon games, third-ranked Oklahoma is going to take on Kansas. Spencer Rattler had an amazing first performance and looks to repeat it. The Florida Gators look to make their first start of the season. They're ranked fifth. They take on Ole Miss at 12 o'clock on ESPN. That's going to be a big game. 23rd ranked Kentucky faces off at number 8 Auburn at 12 o'clock. That's going to be on SEC Network. I'm just continue on. 24th Louisville takes on 21st ranked Pittsburgh on ACC. 6th ranked LSU hosts Mississippi State. 8th ranked Texas is on the road facing Texas Tech. 22nd ranked Army is going to take on 14th ranked Cincinnati. 15th ranked Oklahoma State is going to host West Virginia on ABC at 3:30. 4th ranked Georgia is going to take on Arkansas at 4 o'clock on SEC Network. 2nd ranked Alabama is going to take on Mizzou on ESPN at 7 o'clock. 10th ranked Texas A&M is going to host Vanderbilt on SEC Network Alternative. The 12th ranked Miami is going to take on their in-state rival and division rival, the Florida State Seminoles on ABC. That's going to be a big game for all to see. And then just looking out, there's the 7th ranked Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Their game was their game was officially delayed. And then before I take you out to baseball real quick, I'm also going to take you through the big soccer matchups to look forward to today. And starting on the Bundesliga, Borussia Dortmund is going to take on FC Augsburg, and Borussia Dortmund, after their first matchup, they're looking incredibly strong. So I'm definitely looking forward to watching Borussia Dortmund play, especially because their side is actually incredibly strong and they can rival Bayern. Manchester United is going to take on Brighton and Hove Albion Paul Pogba is going to try to help this side jump out to an amazing start to see if they can win Premier League. This is a new opportunity for them. And also Chelsea's going to take on West Brom at 12:30. That's going to be a fun game to watch. Looking out to Italy, Internazionale is going to take on Fiorentina. Franck Ribéry used to play for Bayern on Fiorentina. Now I believe, and then Internazionale always has a lot of very, very good players. They're a very fun team to watch. Real Madrid is going to make a start. They're going to take on Real Betis for their La Liga matchup at 3 o'clock. And those are the big games to look forward to today in terms of just looking out for just great soccer to be played. And last but not least, I'm going to take you to the MLB just to show you what's going on with yesterday's performances. Of course, today is the 26th, and this is the second day of the last series of the season. So first I'm going to take you out to the Central. The St. Louis Cardinals hosted the Milwaukee Brewers for a doubleheader, and in the very first game, the Milwaukee Brewers were able to blank the Cardinals 3-0 in 7 innings. Elite pitcher Jack Flaherty would pick up the loss for the Cardinals. He allowed 3 earned runs in 5 innings pitched, striking out 3 batters on the night. For the Cardinals, none of their players had more than a hit, as their elite first baseman, Paul Goldschmidt, would go 1 for 3 on the day. And looking out to Milwaukee, it would be Suter who got the start, who struck out 4 batters, allowing no runs in 4 innings pitched. But it was more of a bullpen matchup because, of course, you have to save your players for the playoffs if they make it. Their elite left fielder and former National League MVP Christian Yelich would go 1 for 3 as he had an RBI and a run. He had his 12th home run of the season in the 3rd inning off Flaherty. A solo shot to kind of put them up. Their second baseman, Keston Hiura, would go 2 for 3 with a run, and then their third baseman, Eric Sogard, would go 2 for 3 with a RBI. Jumping on to the second game, the St. Louis Cardinals were able to take the second game of this series, splitting it. In this game, Ponce de Leon would pick up the win for the Cardinals. And in this game, Daniel Ponce de Leon would allow 1 earned run, striking out 6 batters in 6 innings. Looking at how Milwaukee fared, their elite left fielder, Christian Yelich, would go 0 for 2 as he walked. No one on their team would have more than 1 hit, as their shortstop Orlando Arcia's home run was the only run for the Brewers this game. Looking out to the Cardinals, their second baseman Colton Wong would go 2 for 4 with a run. Their left fielder Tommy Edman would go 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs. He had his 5th home run of the season last night as well. Their elite first baseman Paul Goldschmidt would go 0 for 3 as he walked once and struck out twice. Their third baseman Mal Carpenter went 2 for 3. Their shortstop Paul DeJong would go 1 for 3 with 2 runs on the day. And then Carlson and Wieters would both finish with 2 RBIs on the day. With this split series, the St. Louis Cardinals are now 29-27, and the Milwaukee Brewers are now 28-30. Jumping out incredibly quickly, quickly to jumping out to Cleveland. The Cleveland Indians were able to beat the Pittsburgh Pirates 4-3 last night, scoring 4 of their 3 runs in the 9th inning in order to turn it around. Jordan Liplow's double would put them down 1. Delino DeShields' single was Hyatt, and then Cesar Hernandez's double would put them above and win them the game. Big come from behind victory, and with this, or for first looking out to how Pittsburgh fared, their starting pitcher Mitch Keller would pitch 5 innings. He'd allow 1 earned run, striking out 3 batters. He did walk 8 of them, though. Their second baseman, Adam Frazier, would go 2 for 3 with a run on the day. Their right fielder, Gregory Polanco, will go 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs on a run. He had his 7th home run of the season. And then looking out to Cleveland, Carlos Carrasco would get the start as he would allow 2 earned runs, striking out 6 batters, and then he pitched 6 innings, allowing 2 earned runs and striking out 8 batters on the night. He would get the no decision as the Cleveland Indians won in the 9th inning. But going how they did offensively, their elite shortstop Francisco Lindor would go 0 for 2, but he'd walk 3 times and he'd score once. And then their center fielder Delino DeShields would go 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run. With this win, the Cleveland Indians are now 34-24 on the season, as the Pittsburgh Pirates are the first team to lose 40 games. They're now 18-40 on the season. Jumping out to Kansas City, the Kansas City Royals hosted the Detroit Tigers and were able to beat them 3-2. It would be their pitcher Brad Keller who got his 5th win of the season. Spencer Turnbull would pick up the loss for the Tigers. He would allow 3 earned runs in 5 innings pitched, striking out 5 on the day. And for their offense, their first baseman Harold Castro will go 2 for 4 with the run of the day, and then their right fielder Daz Cameron will go 2 for 3. Looking at how Kansas City how they fared, their starting pitcher Brad Keller is now 5-3 after allowing no earned runs in 6 innings pitched, striking out 5 batters on the day. For their hitters, their shortstop Alberto Mondesi would go 3 for 3 with an RBI and a run. He finished with 2 singles and a triple. Big game for him. And then their left fielder, Alex Gordon, who announced that he was going to retire, he finished 2 for 4 with a strikeout on the day. With this win, the Kansas City Royals are 25-33, and with this loss, the Detroit Tigers are now 22-34. And looking out to Minnesota, La Bomba squad hosted the Cincinnati Reds, and the Reds were able to get the best of them 7-2. For Minnesota, it'll be Jose Barrios who got the loss. It'll be his 4th loss of the season. He's 5-4 after allowing 4 earned runs in 5 innings pitched, striking out 7. Looking out to how the Twins did offensively, their left fielder Eddie Rosario will go 2 for 5 on the day. Their shortstop Jorge Polanco will go 2 for 4. And looking out to how the Reds fared, it was more of a bullpen outing for them, as they're still a team that's fighting for a wild card spot. Their left fielder, Yakiyama, would go 2 for 5 with an RBI and a run. And just continuing off of that, their second baseman, Mike Moustakas, would go 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs and a run. He had 2 home runs last night. He now has 8 on the season. And then their shortstop, Freddie Galvis, finally getting a big performance out of him. He finished 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run. He had his 7th home run of the season last night. And with this win, the Cincinnati Reds are 30-28. And with this loss, the Minnesota Twins are 35-23. Taking you back to the last performance out of the Central Divisions, the Chicago White Sox hosted their crosstown rivals, the Chicago Cubs, and the Cubs were able to completely blank them 10-0. Dylan Cease would pick up the loss for the White Sox as he allowed 5 earned runs in less than 5 innings, striking out 5 batters. He's now 5-4 on the season with this loss. On the offensive side, no one was able to get more than 1 hit. Tim Anderson was able to get a hit for the team, though. Looking at the Chicago, Yu Darvish would pick up the win for the Cubs as he would allow no earned runs in 7 innings pitched, striking out 5 on the day against a very good White Sox team that has a better record than they do. Their designated hitter, Wilson Contreras, would go 2 for 3 with 4 RBIs and 3 runs. He had 2 home runs on the day. He now has 7 on the season. Their elite shortstop, Javi Baez, would go 2 for 5 with an RBI and a run. Javi Baez would hit his 8th home run, and he'd also hit a double left-handed. The left fielder, Kyle Schwarber, would go 2 for 3 with an RBI and a run. He hit his 11th home run of the season last night. And their catcher, Caratini, would go 1 for 3 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs. He hit his first home run of the season for the Chicago Cubs. With this win, the Chicago Cubs are now 33-25, and with this loss, the Chicago White Sox are 34-24. Jumping out really quickly to show you what's going on out west. Starting out in Phoenix, the Arizona Diamondbacks were able to host and blank the Colorado Rockies 4-0 as Zach Gallen picked up his 3rd win of the season. Senzatello would pick up his 3rd loss for the Rockies. He allowed 4 earned runs in a little over 4 innings pitched, striking out 2 batters. He's now 5-3 on the season. Their left fielder, Ramiro Tapia, would go go 3 for 3 on the night. He'd be the only player on the team that had more than one hit. Looking out to Arizona, Zach Gallen would allow 0 earned runs in 6 innings pitched, striking out 10 batters on the day. Looking at how the Diamondbacks did offensively, their center fielder, Dalton Varsho, would go 2 for 3 with a run on the day. Their first baseman, Christian Walker, would go 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs. He hit his 7th home run of the season, and with this win, the Arizona Diamondbacks are 23-34. With this loss, the Colorado Rockies are 25-32. But they also had a doubleheader. Sorry if I jumped out to the records real quick, but in the second game, the Diamondbacks were able to win the second one 11-5. And in this game, it was mostly a bullpen game from the Rockies, as their starting pitcher allowed 6 earned runs in less than an inning. And for Arizona, their winning pitcher would be Taylor Clark. He would allow 4 earned runs in 5 innings pitched, striking out 5. For the Rockies, their center fielder Kevin Pillar in this game would go 3 for 4 with 3 RBIs and a run. And then their third baseman, Ryan McMahon, would go 2 for 3 with an RBI and 2 runs. As he hit his 8th home run of the season, and Pillar would hit 2 doubles on that. 2 of his 3 hits were doubles. Then looking at how Arizona did the second game, their center fielder, Tim LeCastro, would go 3 for 3 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs. Their second baseman, Josh Van Meter, he finished 1 for 4 with 3 RBIs and 2 runs. Their left fielder, David Peralta, would go 3 for 5 with 2 RBIs and a run. And then their catcher, Stephen Vogt, would go 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run. And then their right fielder, John Jay, would finish the game going 2 for 3 with a run on the day. With both wins in this doubleheader, the Arizona Cardinals are now 24-34, and the Colorado Rockies are now 25-33 after their amazing start to the season. Jumping out to San Francisco, the Giants host the San Diego Padres, as the Giants are still fighting for playoff positioning. They had a doubleheader last night. In the first game, the Giants were able to take them 5-4. The win would go to their starting pitcher, Trevor Anderson, as Chris Paddock will pick up the loss for the San Diego Padres. For the Padres, their elite shortstop, Fernando Tatis Jr., would go 1 for 4 with an RBI and a run. Their elite third baseman, Manny Machado, will go 0 for 3 with a walk on the day. And then their catcher, Austin Nola, will go 2 for 4 with a run on the day. Looking at the San Francisco, Trevor Anderson would allow 2 earned runs in 6 innings pitched, striking out 4 batters on the day. Their right fielder, Mike Yastrzemski, would go 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs and a run. He hit his 10th home run of the season last night, along with his 14th double of the season. Their designated hitter, Wilmer Flores, would go 2 for 3 with an RBI and a run. He hit his 10th home run of the season, and with this win, they carry this momentum, and the San Diego Padres were able to get the win in the second part of this doubleheader. They beat them 6-5 in the 7th inning in walk-off fashion. And in this one, it would be Trent Grisham who hit a 3-run home run while they were down to give them the win. And I think he had another incredible play this year, but I think this is just another play that shows that kind of distinguishes him as one of the best. But looking at how the Giants fared this game, Samardzija would get the start, but he'd only pitched 3 innings, allowing 3 runs. No one on the team would have more than 1 hit, but their designated hitter, Wilmer Flores, would go 1 for 3 with 3 RBIs at a run of the day. He hit his 11th home run of the season in the second game of this outing. Looking at how San Diego did, their center fielder, Trent Grisham, would go 2 for 4 with 4 RBIs and 2 runs. Their elite shortstop, Fernando Tatis Jr., would go 1 for 3 with 2 RBIs and a run on the day. And their elite third baseman, Manny Machado, will go 0 for 2 as he walked once. With this doubleheader split, the San Diego Padres are 35-23, and the San Francisco Giants are 29-29, still competing for a playoff spot. But a win yesterday does help them. Looking out to Dallas, the Texas Rangers hosted their in-state rivals, the Houston Astros, as they were able to beat them 5-4 in extra innings. This one would come from Joey Gallo reaching on a fielder's choice, and then Isaiah Kiner-Falefa's score would eventually put the Texas Rangers above. But looking out to how both teams did, Urquidy would get the start for the Houston Astros. He would allow 2 earned runs in 7 innings pitched, striking out 5 on the day. On the offensive side, their elite second baseman, Jose Altuve, would go 0 for 4. He'd walk once, and he'd score twice. Their elite third baseman, Alex Bregman, would go 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run. He hit his 6th home run of the season last night, and their right fielder, Josh Reddick, would go 2 for 4. Looking at to Texas, in addition to their starting pitcher, Cody, he would allow 1 earned run, striking out 1 on the day. Their shortstop, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, would go 2 for 4 with a run on the day. Their catcher, Sam Huff, would go 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs. He had 2 home runs on the day. Big win for the Rangers, and with this win, they're 20-38. With this loss, the Houston Astros are 29-29. Big win as the Rangers are looking to try to spoil the Astros. But no, the Astros did clinch the playoffs last night, so forget what I said. Jumping out to Los Angeles, in the I-5 series or the 405 series or whatever they're calling it. The Los Angeles Dodgers were able to get the best of the Los Angeles Angels, beating them 9-5 after the Angels kind of took an early lead. They were up 3-1 in like the third inning, but the Dodgers were able to completely turn it back around on them. For the Angels, their start would go to Andrew Heaney, but he'd only pitch 4 innings because he allowed 5 earned runs in those 4 innings, striking out 3. On the offensive side of the ball, their shortstop, David Fletcher, would go 2 for 5 with a run. Their first baseman, Jared Walsh, would go 2 for 5 with an RBI and a run. Their GOAT-level center fielder, Mike Trout, would go 1 for 4 with 3 RBIs and a run. He hit his first career home run off Clayton Kershaw, which I think is probably insane when you really think about it. Their elite third baseman, Anthony Rendon, would finish 2 for 4 on the day. And looking out to the Los Angeles Dodgers, their GOAT-level starting pitcher, Clayton Kershaw, would make the start for them. He would allow 1 earned run and 4 total runs on the day as he struck out 3 batters in 4 innings. Their elite right fielder, Mookie Betts, would go 1 for 4 with a run on the day. Their third baseman, Justin Turner, would go 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs on the day. Their third baseman, Edwin Rios, would go 1 for 2 with 2 RBIs and a run. Going back to Turner, he had 2 home runs on the day as well. Their first baseman, Max Muncy, would go 2 for 2 with a run. Their designated hitter, Will Smith, would go 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs. Will Smith now has 7 home runs on the season. Their elite center fielder and former and reigning National League MVP, Cody Bellinger, would go 0 for 3 with a walk on the day. And then with this win, the Los Angeles Dodgers are now 41-17, and with this loss, the Angels are now 26-32. As if you didn't catch it with the Dodgers having 41 wins, they have the most wins in all of baseball. Jumping out to Oakland, the Oakland A's were able to beat the Seattle Mariners 3-1, as all of the runs in this game were scored in extra innings. The Seattle Mariners scored on a pass ball in the top of the 10th, but Ramon Laureano's double and Mark Canha's home run to win the game would help cement it for the Athletics at the end of the game. Looking at how Seattle fared, their starting pitcher Yusei Kikuchi would allow no earned runs in 6 innings pitched, striking out 5. Their shortstop J.P. Crawford would go 2 for 4 on the day. He'd be the only player with more than 1 hit, and they had no RBIs as a team. Looking at how Oakland fared, their starting pitcher, Chris Bassett, would pitch 7 innings, allowing no earned runs, striking out 6 batters on the day. Their center fielder, Laureano, would finish 2 for 5 with an RBI and a run. Their left fielder, Mark Canha, would go 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs on a run. Of course, he had the game-winning home run. With this win, the Oakland A's are now 35-22, and with this loss, the Seattle Mariners are 25-32. And last but not least, taking you out east, starting in Buffalo, the Toronto Blue Jays hosted the Baltimore Orioles. Were able to beat them 10-5 last night. Taijuan Walker would make the start, but of course, Pearson would pick up his first win. For the Baltimore Orioles, it was mainly a bullpen outing as Eshelman got 4 of the 8 innings in relief. Just looking at how they fared offensively, their first baseman, Ryan Mountcastle, will go 2 for 3 with an RBI on the day, and their second baseman, Hanser Alberto, will go 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run. And looking out to the Blue Jays, in addition to Taijuan Walker's outing, where he allowed no earned runs in 3 innings pitched, striking out 4. Their shortstop, Bo Bichette, would go 2 for 5 with an RBI and a run. Their right fielder, Teoscar Hernandez, would go 1 for 5 with 2 RBIs on the day. Their center fielder, Randall Grichuk, would go 2 for 5 with an RBI and 2 runs. He hit his 11th home run of the season. Their elite designated hitter, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., would go 2 for 4 with 2 runs on the day. Their first baseman, Travis Shaw, would go 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run. He hit his 6th home run of the season. And then their left fielder, Jonathan Davis, would go 2 for 3 with an RBI and 2 runs. With this win, the Toronto Blue Jays are 31-27, and with this loss, the Baltimore Orioles are now 24-34. Taking you out to Tampa Bay, the Rays were able to beat the Philadelphia Phillies 6-4 yesterday in a game that kind of went to the later innings as the Phillies took an early lead. They were up 3-1 at some point, 4-1, and the Rays were able to completely come back and win this game. Looking at how the Phillies fares, Velasquez wouldn't pitch 5 innings as he'd allowed 3 earned runs and 4.1 innings pitched, striking out 6 batters. And looking at how they fared, their elite designated hitter, Bryce Harper, would go 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs and a run on the day, and their center fielder, Scott Kingery, would go 2 for 4 with 2 runs. Looking at how Tampa Bay did, Charlie Morton would allow 3 earned runs, 4 total in 5 innings pitched, striking out 8 batters on the day. Their second baseman, Joey Wendell, will go 2 for 5 with 2 RBIs and a run. Their left fielder, Randy Arozarena, would go 2 for 5 with an RBI on the day. And then their right fielder, Brett Phillips, would go 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs and a run. He hit his 2nd home run of the season. With this win, the Phillies are now 38-20, and with this win, the Rays are now 38-20, and the Phillies are now 28-30. with this outing. Jumping out to New York, jumping out to Yankee Stadium, the Yankees hosted the Marlins, and the Marlins were able to beat them in extra innings to secure their first playoff berth in a long time. Wild fact, the Miami Marlins only clinched the playoffs twice, and both times they clinched it, they won the World Series, but that was back in the 90s. But, of course, after Jesus Aguilar sacrificed fly to Aaron Judge and Monte Harrison score, the Marlins have clinched the playoffs for the first time in over a decade. But looking at how the Yankees did, their starting pitcher, J.A. Happ, would pitch 5 innings. He would allow 3 earned runs, striking out 3 batters on the day. Their elite right fielder, Aaron Judge, would go 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run. Their elite designated hitter, Giancarlo Stanton, would go 0 for 3. Their first baseman, Luke Voit, would go 2 for 4, and their catcher, Gary Sanchez, would go 2 for 3, as their elite shortstop, Gleyber Torres, would go 0 for 3 with a walk on the day. Looking at how Miami did, Sandy Alcantara would pitch 7.1 innings. He would allow 2 earned runs, striking out 9 batters on the day. Looking at how their offense fared, their designated hitter, Gary Cooper, would go 1 for 4 with 3 RBIs and a run, as his home run in the first inning was able to put the Marlins out front. And then, in addition to that, with this win, the Miami Marlins are now 30-28 with a playoff berth as the second seed in the National League East. And with this loss, the New York Yankees are now 32-26 out in the American League East. Taking you out to, but last but not least, I'm going to take you out to this matchup in Atlanta, as the Atlanta Braves, who lead the National League East, took on the Boston Red Sox. They were able to beat them in the 11th inning, as their elite first baseman, Freddie Freeman's 2-run home run from while they were down was able to give them the win. Big win, and that's probably the MVP play that they were looking for this season. Looking at how Boston fared, their starting pitcher, I want to say Chris Mazza, would allow 1 earned run in 5 innings pitched, striking out 6 batters on the day. Their catcher, Kevin Plawecki, would go 3 for 4 with an RBI and a run. Their center fielder, Jackie Bradley Jr., would go 1 for 4 with an RBI. He scored 3 runs, one of the runs being a home run he hit in the 6th inning. And then their pinch hitter, Rafael Devers, would go 1 for 3 with 2 RBIs and a run. Big game for him. And jumping out to Atlanta just to see how they fared, Kyle Wright would get the start for them. He would allow 2 earned runs in 6.2 innings pitched, striking out 4 batters, as the Red Sox kind of scored a lot of their runs late. But Kyle Wright wouldn't get the decision. Shane Green would. But for the Atlanta Braves, their elite center fielder, Ronald Acuna Jr., would go 1 for 4 with an RBI and 3 runs. He had a leadoff home run in the first at-bat of the game to give the Braves the first run. Their elite second baseman, Ozzie Albies, would go 1 for 5 with an RBI and a run. Continuing on, their designated hitter, Marcell Ozuna, would go 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Their right fielder, Nick Markakis, would go 1 for 4 with a run. And then their pinch hitting elite first baseman, Freddie Freeman, would go 1 for 1 with 2 RBIs and a run. His pinch hit home run would give Atlanta the win. And with this win, the Atlanta Braves are now 35-23. And with this loss, the Boston Red Sox are now 22-36. And really quickly, because it is the last series, because we're taking it day by day, I'm just gonna walk you through what the seeding looks like in the playoffs, just like as we tiptoe through the last couple of games, because some teams could very well fall out. So just to show you who's already clinched, right? So first, in the American League East, the Tampa Bay Rays have already clinched the best record in the American League with a 38-20 record. Behind them, you have the Oakland A's, who have clinched the best record in the West with at 35-22. In the third seed, you'll have the Minnesota Twins, who are holding on to that central spot at 35-23. But a game behind them are the Cleveland Indians, so they're both fighting for that third seed, possible second seed, and whoever gets the second spot is going to get the fourth seed. It looks like the Yankees are pretty comfortable in that fifth seed, whereas they're a couple games behind the Cleveland Indians, and they're 3 games ahead of the Houston Astros. I think the Astros have already clinched because they have the second best record in the American League West, and the Chicago White Sox and the Toronto Blue Jays have already clinched it. So every spot in the American League is all eight teams have already clinched the playoffs for them, as the Angels are the first team out, and they're already kind of out of there. But and if you look in the National League, it's still kind of a toss-up. The Los Angeles Dodgers still hold on to the best record in the National League. It looks as though the Atlanta Braves are going to get that second seed, sitting at 35-23, 2 games ahead of the Cubs. I imagine with either a Cubs loss or a Braves win tonight, the Braves will hold on to that second spot. It looks as though the San Diego Padres are comfortably in the 4th spot at 35-23. The St. Louis Cardinals still have yet to clinch, but I think with a win, they should clinch that second spot, at least over the Cincinnati Reds. But the Cincinnati Reds, they're still The Cincinnati Reds have clinched officially. The Cardinals haven't, but the Cardinals need to catch up in games. The Miami Marlins have already clinched. They're holding on to that sixth spot, or that's what it looks like. They might fight with the Cardinals and the Reds for that fifth spot, but they're still competing, but they're officially in. The Cincinnati Reds are in, and that last spot looks like it's up for grabs between the San Francisco Giants, the St. Louis Cardinals, and the Philadelphia Phillies as of right now. But right now, but that's what playoffs look like. But once again, thank you for listening to all 30 minutes of this piece. It is Saturday, September 26th, 2020, out here in this quarantine. I wish everyone well. And once again, thank you for listening to my piece, and peace out.